All right, guys, it's June 14th here in Houston. We're here for the No Kings protest. So we're going to go around and ask some people what they believe and what they think, and we'll see what's up.
We just wanted to ask you what's going on here. What did you expect coming out to this event, and how is it going?
Well, I'd say it was a very good event. It was very peaceful. I didn't see any need for federal troops to be here. I protest a lot, and protests in Houston have always been very peaceful. I think this is about the largest group I've ever seen today, which is great. It seems it's mostly about immigrants, but to me it's a lot about Trump not following the Constitution, denial of due process, not following court orders. I'm very old. I've been here a long time. I never, ever expected to see anything like the way Donald Trump has trashed our federal government and our Constitution. I never expected to see that here in the United States.
And talking a little bit about that, what are some recent developments that have most affected you recently with the entire?
Well, for example, I use Social Security. My husband and I live on our income that comes in every month, and I worry about Social Security. That's a concern to me. I love Medicare. The older people I know love Medicare, but he's going to change Medicare. I worked in the healthcare field. I know how many people used Medicaid. We have very poor health care, very low insured population in Houston, and without Medicaid, it's going to be a disaster. I don't know what the hospitals will do. People will go to the emergency rooms for their medical care, and the hospitals are just going to be swamped. So there are a lot of issues that I think affect all of us, in addition to the fact that he's just trying to take away all our freedoms.
And so a follow-up question, what would you say to maybe some of the Trump supporters out there, or what would you say to some of the people that are fans of the Doge administration's tactics? What would you say to those people?
Well, maybe these are people who have not yet been affected by the consequences of these, at least in their perception. I hope that as time goes on, maybe they will come to see how these things affect them and affect other people that they care about, maybe affect their working situation. So I don't agree with them, but this is a free country still, and maybe they have a right to have their opinions too, even though I don't agree with them.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for the conversation. Greatly appreciated it.
Yeah, good.
All right, y'all. So it's like 11:14, and they've organized to start marching. In fact, the front has already started moving. So why are you guys here in the first place?
Okay, so the main reason I'm here is because those who do nothing make no change.
Right, so it's important to be engaged with your community.
Absolutely.
And stuff.
You have to do something to make a change. You can't just sit back and let change come, or it's going to happen to you. You're not going to change it. You're not going to make any difference if you don't get out and do something.
So obviously this protest is a No Kings protest.
Yeah.
So what about Trump's administration or anything makes it kingly about him?
Well, it's overreaching. It's they've come in and it's too much overreach all across the board. We're here not just for immigration. I mean, I think that we need immigration laws. We need to look out for people, but it's the overreach of firing people. It's the overreach of, it's just this oligarchy and just stepping on the middle to lower class. It's all about the rich, the powerful, and that's just wrong. And if
making changes to our healthcare system, Medicaid, Medicare, all the vaccines that are going to get changed with RFK in place. I think there's just too much overreach.
Too much.
And I guess as for the overreach, what do you think of the court cases and just like the judicial system trying to stop him, and Trump just not following through with that.
Well, I don't know that they're not following through with it. It's just that he is a master at delay. You saw it in his 34 convictions. He just delayed and delayed and delayed until it was too late to do anything about it. And that's what he's doing now.
So you think he's going to try to buy as much time as possible?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So the courts kind of, the court system moves slowly. I mean, for everybody. And so they know that. And they're manipulating such that they can do as much damage as they can before they get stopped.
So for you guys, what would be like the ideal outcome for the protests happening all over the country today? Like any policy that would change or anything that would like make people like actively do something in like around him or anything like that?
We want him out of office, but he's got too many years left. So we've got 2 years before we can vote again. And I just hope he doesn't kick in the Insurrection Act and throw out martial law before the election.
What we want is democracy to stand. And what we want is, there's not one in, just one thing. We want Congress to do their job and not feel like that they can't because they're scared to lose their job because of what we heard this morning. There was a senator talking about, people coming after you. In fact, I don't know, I assume everybody knows there were 2 Democrat senators killed this morning for their views.
They were killed?
Yes.
The last update I saw was that they were shot. I didn't know they were killed.
Minnesota. I don't know. Could be. My son says they're dead. But I mean, it's that coming after people that think differently than you. So Congress and the people need to stand up to say enough.
Yeah.
It's we the people. It's not the oligarchy. And if we could just do that, and they could step down and listen to the people.
Yeah.
We know
That's what we want. We want them to listen to the people.
Yeah. And then I guess for this event specifically, because obviously other cities are different, right? But this one specifically, you haven't seen any like violence
No violence.
It's been very nice and peaceful here, right?
Absolutely.
People are handing water. People are giving you signs. People are making sure that you're in the shade. Everyone, as they asked for, is looking after community. And that's what this is about, looking after each other.
I guess if you want to say like a final thing, like if you guys want to, final message to the people out there, maybe to like either a Trump supporter or somebody who's indecisive or anything like that.
I think change, if you want change, you can't stay in your living room and bitch at your neighbors progress in the civil rights movement would have never been made had people not marched and stood up. And I'm a product. I was a little kid. Now I realize if those people hadn't stood up and marched and fought for their rights in the civil rights movement, we would still have slaves and people would not have their civil rights.
Yeah, so the last thing I would say is get out there and do something. Don't expect it to come to you.
All right. Thank you guys so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you.
Right, so it's like around 11:38 and the march just started. Right now they're over there.
That's not too hot or anything. We were kind of expecting a lot of rain, thunderstorms is what we're expecting here.
It's really nice because it was just raining and now like the clouds have cleared and there's wind. There's a lot of wind.
Yeah.
It's a lot nicer than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Since the crowd's like dispersed from this area, it's like very calm, kind of like just going to a park or something. They're marching. I don't actually know exactly what their route is, but I know they're gonna come back here, right?
Oh, most likely.
Are they gonna come back here? The march is like circular. Yeah. And so we're hoping to maybe catch them on the way back to try to see if we can
Get a few more interviews.
Talk to more people. So far there hasn't been like arrests or like unease or anything like that, right? It's been pretty calm right now. So
But there are a lot of police around.
Yeah, this whole area is surrounded by police, but they're kind of far away from the crowd, so it's not like
They're keeping their distance.
Yeah, they're keeping their distance. I think it's smart for them to be doing that. Okay. So why are you guys here today?
We're here to combat the mass deportations under Donald Trump's fascist regime. So that's why we're here, to stand against mass deportation, and overall just the rise of authoritarianism under his rule. It's completely fucking unacceptable.
And also, it's here because it's fuck Trump.
The protest is called No Kings, right?
Yes.
So what about Trump is kingly, or like kind of like a monarchy?
I think that when you look at who his political enemies are, the press, judges, the American people, his own constituents that don't agree with him, that's a monarch, that's a fascist, that's somebody who doesn't care about the American people. He cares about himself, and he cares about pushing policies that, frankly, is completely unpopular.
It's a man who wants to be in power without being checked for the power that he has.
There's like 50 of these protests all over the country, right? This is just the one that is local to us. So with the combined like effort that we're doing as Americans, what change would you like to see in being as hopeful as you can, right? What change would you like to see in the government or in the administration?
I'd like Donald Trump to be impeached personally. I think Democrats need to put up a united front. I think the split that we divide ourselves on, you have one issue you don't agree with and you're not united. Democrats need to come together. I need to see Democratic officials stepping up to Donald Trump. What happened to the senator in California was so completely unacceptable, and Democratic officials need to be at Congress, at the House, fighting every single day, doing speeches like Cory Booker did. Doesn't matter what their fight is, they need to be doing it.
It's truly just, the only thing I would really want to see is just Trump gone at the base of it all, because truly, like, it's killing this country. And this country is so beautiful. It's so united on so many things. And there's one man, and all of the people who follow him and say that his word is gospel is like killing us. And I just want to see all of that gone.
So obviously we didn't get here like in one day. There was multiple, not just years, but administrations that led us to this point. So would you like to see like not just the administration change, right? The power change hands or whatever, but would you like to see like a more like a systemic change, or what would you like to see?
Absolutely. I think that the current Democratic Party is not pushing to the left far enough on issues. The fact that their answer to immigration is, well, Obama deported a ton of people and he did it so nicely, is completely unacceptable. I think that we, as a community of people in the United States who stand up for human rights and what is right and justice, need to push the policy further to the left. We need to be more accepting of other people. People who come here, not just because they work hard, but because their people deserve to be here.
This is truly just like echoing everything he just said. It's truly just, it's just everything he just said. He just said it all pretty much.
Now, you guys, were you here from the beginning, or did you join a little late?
We got here like 10.
Okay. From what you guys have seen, you guys haven't seen like any violence or altercations, no arrests or anything like that, right?
Absolutely not. I've been to several protests in Houston, and for the most part, I have never seen violence except for at the hands of HPD. The protests that we have here in Houston are incredibly peaceful. I know the media likes to show violence, cars burning, but even in LA, Chicago, DC, these protests are going to remain 99% peaceful. And the media wants to pick up on one or two things, but that's just not the reality of it. I've seen zero violence here today.
Truly, as he was saying, the media is truly against us in so many ways, in so many facets, because it's showing nothing but the anger. But that anger is justified with this country and everything like that. And it's truly just showing like we are a peaceful, united front for a reason, because we want change. And we know that change truly, at least according to them, it's not going to come with violence. So we're not going to give them violence. We're going to give them peace, and we're going to want change.
So, like win them through optics or whatever, right? Yeah. Okay. And then I guess if there's like a final message or whatever that you'd like to say, either to a Trump supporter or maybe, I don't know, anything really.
I would say to a Trump supporter, I mean, in Texas, we're a very split community. There are a lot of Republicans, a lot of Democrats. I'm friends with both. I think that there's much more common ground than people think. They want to divide us. But I think if we look at ourselves and we care for our neighbors, our community, your people, you will find it in yourself to be a more caring, empathetic person, and you will find that these mass sports interpretations are wrong. So that's what I would say.
My final message would be fight for change, fight for the thing that you want, and what we all should want is a change in this government, a change in our way of thinking, a change in our way of life. Because when we are united as a country, we are more powerful and we are more against the things that we stand against. You know what I mean, man? And also, fuck Donald Trump at the end of the day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's always fuck Donald Trump, man. At the end of the day, man.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
The first question I have for y'all is, why are you here? What brought you out? What about this event, got you excited to come?
Just the way it's been organized kind of globally. There's rallies planned in Europe, in Mexico. It's like a global effort, and it's the first real united effort I feel like I've seen so far. So that was really inspiring. Yeah.
For me, as an educator, I've been really frustrated, and I felt like I was just stuck and I couldn't do anything. But today, I wanted to come out because I wanted to do something. I wanted some type of action because I felt like I was just a sitting duck.
Yeah, and when we're talking about the issues, the political issues, and some of the stuff that the administration has done, why do you think they have reason to label it a No Kings protest?
Oh, well, it's a lot of reasons, but though he's not trying to literally be a king, the fascist dictator is essentially taking all the power and consolidating it to one person, and that is not what we stand for as a country. That's not what we stand for as a democracy.
Yeah, so the use of the executive powers is just like a king. The idea that there's a military parade on his birthday is very much either a dictator or a king. So the fact that it's called a No Kings protest is very much aligned with the things that he's doing because he's acting like a king.
And as far as being personally affected by the Trump administration, would you say that you are personally affected, and how, in what way?
Well, we're both queer, so that's immediately one thing on the table. I have a really diverse friend group, and I'm afraid for them. I'm afraid for their families. I'm afraid for the people in my life who are seeking citizenship. It's terrifying to know that my friends might not be here soon.
Yeah, for me, I'm an educator. Like I said, I'm an educator in Houston, so I have a ton of recent students who are recent immigrants, and I have families that share that their status, they're undocumented, and they are afraid of dropping off their kid at school. And all of my kids deserve a quality education, and they deserve the ability to come to school and not be worried about whether or not my mom isn't going to be there to pick me up in the carpool line at the end of the day. So I'm here for myself as a queer person, but also my kids and my families.
And since you're an educator, what opinion do you have on some of the increased ICE activity at schools with no prior notice, no warrants, perhaps? What commentary do you have on that, if any?
Yeah, so I have spent a lot of time in reflection thinking about what I will, not if, but what I will do if ICE shows up at my door. Am I willing to risk my license as a teacher? Am I willing to go to jail? As teachers, we are on the front lines. Teaching is a political act, and it has been since its inception, and especially right now. I teach almost exclusively immersion bilingual students, and so everything I do in my classroom, whether that's culturally responsive pedagogy, including families in the curriculum, whatever it is a political act. And so I have to reconcile every day and think about how is the current administration affecting my families? How does it make them feel? How does it affect what's going on at home? Because that affects how my kids are going to show up every day. So the administration is impeding my ability to give kids a quality education, and it just absolutely hurts my heart for my kids and my families.
Next question, I guess, would be what words would you have for people that support some of the things that the administration is doing and that voted for Trump? And what words?
Empathy is not a sin. it's actually quite valuable, and I would say the one of the things that makes us human. And to reject empathy is to reject what makes us human.
I'm a Quaker. We believe fervently in like the light of God in everybody, however that God looks to you. And so I look at the MAGA supporters with like they said, like a lot of empathy, but I also like really like encourage them to like pray and to think about like how, if they believe that like all lives are sacred, if you believe that all lives matter, then how are your actions supporting that? Are you using this idea that like immigrants shouldn't be here or that queer people are corrupting our children? Are you using that as a like smokescreen for your own bigotry? So I just ask that they would like sit and pray and think about like how do their actions align with their values.
And the last and final question I have for y'all today is, what would you have changed within the system if you could snap your finger? Like, what do you think is the most vital thing that needs to get changed that would help make the most impact?
I have so many thoughts, but I think the first and foremost is like the rights. I think the ability that the right for my kids to show up to school every day. The idea that ICE is going into churches, into schools, into hospitals is a travesty and like goes against every American ideal. So I would say if we could go back to the Biden era policy of that we don't enter those sacred spaces, that's I think the first step.
It's okay. You can take a moment. You can take a
so
moment.
many, girl, don't even-
It's okay. It's okay. It's a big question.
It's a big question.
Basic first steps.
Basic first step. Oh, stop kidnapping people off the streets. That's the first thing. Like, it's not deporting. Deporting is a legal process. It's kidnapping. Like that would be done. That would be done immediately. Yeah, that's first step.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for your time. We're happy to have this conversation with y'all.
I mostly came because my family is immigrant, and I'm first gen, so I just came to support them and be there for them when they couldn't. So,
Obviously, this protest is a No Kings protest. So, what about Trump's administration or the way he is like Kingsley, in your opinion?
I would say basically kind of being a figurehead and not really knowing what made the government. So like when they asked him that question and you saw on TV about like one of the amendments in the Constitution, and he straight up was like, I don't know. It was just really like sad to see.
Like, at what time did you guys get here, more or less?
I got here kind of late, but we got here towards the end.
Yeah.
So
After the march?
yeah.
So like in your time here, you haven't seen like any like violent behavior or anything like that, really?
No. If anything, like I've strike conversations with friends. Like with strangers, it was a lot easier to talk because there was no tension.
And then I guess like if you had a Trump supporter in front of you, if I was a Trump supporter, like what would you tell me? You know.
I probably wouldn't even try to engage, but if I were like forced to engage, I'd probably just have like a civil conversation of like why you feel that way, and then explain why I feel that way.
Yeah.
See if we can find common ground.
And so like any final message for like the people out there, you know?
I'm a running blank, but
You could think on it. I could just cut it, you know?
there was this Dune quote that I was looking at. Do you mind if I read it?
Hell yeah.
Okay. Let me find it. Okay. So this is from Frank Herbert, Dune, the Gateway Collection. And when I went to go look for it because it was one of those things that I read that reminded me of what's happening now. And basically it said, a world is supported by four things: the learning of the wise, the justice of great, the prayers of the righteous, and the valor of the brave. But all of these are nothing without a ruler who knows the art of ruling, which Donald Trump does not. At least not with honor.
All right. Thank you so much. All right, y'all. It's what is it? Is it what month is it? It's June. Yeah, it's June.